In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to fight Gamma Rockwell Prime solo. So this video was recorded fighting the Gamma version of the Rockwell Prime. It is also recorded on single player, so just keep that in note. I do still think if you have everything that I did say in this video, you should be able to beat it on official servers as well. All of the settings that I played on were the default official settings, so there's no boosted settings. These are all just normal. Anyway, with that being said, first thing we're going to go over is all the items and everything you're going to need. And then we're going to go over the creatures you're going to need in the setup and all the mounts and stuff like that. And then after that, we're going to go step-by-step guide on how to beat the boss. For your character, these are the stats I had. I had about 500 health, about 400 weight. I had 125 movement speed, 200 stamina. Now you can kind of mix with these stats a little bit, just as long as they're close enough to those ones. Now for guns, I had a high level pump action shotgun, fabricated sniper, and tech rifle. I didn't end up using the guns that much, but if you're playing on an official server, I would highly recommend using those. And then of course you're going to want ammo for it. For the armor set, I had a high level set of tech armor. Now this is going to be pretty hard to get, so you can also go with a riot set of armor, riot or flak, as long as they're an ascendant rarity, which is obviously kind of hard to get, but you can mix and match with all the different types and get a good armor set. Also, if you want to, you can use soups. I didn't use soups personally, but of course, like I said, if you're on an official server, that'd be a good idea. Also had some health brews. I don't think they work half the time, but if you want to bring those just in case, use those. And then also make sure to bring some water and food. Of course, the best food you can get, I use cooked lamb chops and tech canteens. I would highly recommend tech canteens because when you use them, you get a few buffs rather than just drinking out of a regular canteen, so that's really useful. Next is your dinos. So I would say you're going to want an army of 19 Shadowmanes. Now you don't have to have 19, you could probably go down to about 15, but somewhere around that range is really good. And for the stats, you want around 50,000 health to, 60,000 is, as high as you can go really, but I'd say 40,000 or 50,000 would be the minimum. And then for damage, you could probably go from like 700 at the least, and then all the way up to however much you want, 1,000. Of course, all of this is on official settings, and for a few, I'll manage to get to 1,000. It just depends on which Shadowmanes have better stats. The next dino you want is a Reaper King or an R Reaper King. Of course, you're going to want R Reaper King, so that's when you get on Genesis Part 2. So you're going to want that, and mine, you could literally get it for like 50,000 health, and then up from there. But I'd say at the least maybe 50,000, and you'll probably be able to pass with the 40,000 health. And then the rest goes into melee damage, get as high as you can, maybe 1,000. But of course, like 700, 800 will work. You're also going to want to make sure all these creatures are fed, so they have plenty of food to eat, so that way, they don't starve to death. And then you're going to want to make sure that they're all 100% imprinted or close to 100%. This is going to help a lot with getting those high stats that I was talking about earlier in the video. If you have 100% imprinting, it's going to make it a lot easier. Now it's time to actually start the boss fight. Once you start it, it will literally only give you 7 seconds, so you need to be prepared before you actually start it. It's not like every other boss fight where you get 30 seconds. Once you get in there, you'll start in this room. You're not going to start immediately into the boss fight. You're going to want to go up to this thing that says investigate. It's got this thing on it. It will basically force you to go there. Once you do, you wait until it says activate, which will be whatever button you want. It'll just tell you, you press it once and that will activate it, which will open the door. Once you do that, make sure all the Shadowmanes that were following you do get through the door properly just by walking them through if they didn't make it, and then walk down this little path here. Then the gate will open up once you get to the end of the corridor. Walk all your Shadowmanes in, and then go back halfway through the corridor. Don't go all the way down, and then make sure you get all your Shadowmanes into the door, and then walk to the end. This will basically start a timer once you get to that regroup point, which will basically, once it does, it'll shut the door behind you, and then it will open the one in front of you, which is the start of the final boss fight. Now this is where the boss fight starts, and there's a lot of stuff going on. First of all, there's tons of tentacles shooting you, slowing you down. Those aren't the ones you want to kill. You want to kill these things called the super tentacles, which look exactly like the original Rockwell ones. First time you're going to need to kill 3. Once you do that, it will open up one of his nodes. Once the node is open, you won't be able to kill it with your creatures. HLNA will give you an exomech from this crate once you stand by it. It'll bust open and you'll be able to jump in, so you'll have to get off your thing and make sure you're safe, and then get in the exomech. Once you do that, if you hold your aim down sight button, this will basically allow you to do a laser beam that the exomech can't regularly do. This will absolutely destroy it. You need to make sure you're aiming at it and do it quick, because the exomech has a charge, and if you don't do it too long, you'll have to do it a second time, which will make the boss fight longer and increase your chances of dying. As soon as that's over, make sure to get out of the exomech and get back onto your creature, as this will allow the exomech to recharge, but if you're in it, it will start losing. Next, you have to kill 6 super tentacles and then get back in the exomech once it's fully charged and you've killed all 6. After that, you have to kill 9 after you've killed the second tentacle, which makes it even harder, and his Rockwell things will start spawning, his Rockwell enemies or whatever they're called. You kill the third one, and then you have to kill 12 whole super tentacles. Obviously the hardest round with all the things coming after you. Once you kill all 12 of the super tentacles, then you'll have to be able to destroy the final node. And then this is the 4th one, which is the last node you have to destroy before getting into the second stage of the boss fight. After this, you'll kind of wait a little bit, and then Rockwell Prime will kind of bust open, as you can see right here in this clip. It's about a minute later, and then he'll bust open like that, and then he'll reveal the full version of himself. From here, your creatures will be able to damage him, which is probably the most effective way. Also using the guns by standing at a distance. I would not recommend to get near Rockwell Prime at all by yourself. You can let your creatures get by him, they'll get damaged, but still you need to stay as far away back as you can and try to shoot with your guns instead of going up at him. Once you do end up finally killing him and taking down all of his health, all the poison balls will finally go away. And then on the final stage, this will allow you to get back into your exomech. Once you get back into the exomech, all you have to do is go up to Rockwell Prime and then hold down your aim down sight button, and then this will do the laser attack just like it did before. And then once you do that, you just hold it down, and then this will kill him. A few other things to note about the boss fight: make sure to stay out of those poison things, because they will damage your character. As you can see on screen, it does a ton of damage to your character, and it goes through mounts, so even if you're on a mount, you'll still take damage, as well as, you know, the poison balls that come from the giant tentacles. The green ones will slow you down. Those ones aren't as bad. You just mainly need to stay out of those green areas. Another thing I've heard is if you don't put your things in your shadow main or any other creature that you have, they will all be deleted. So I would say just put all the items you want to keep inside the shadow main before getting in the exomech and killing Rockwell. Anyway, if you guys did find that video helpful, then please make sure to leave a like on the video and also subscribe. But thanks for watching, and bye.